you doing?
Brad Faxon is presiding over a reunion of sorts in the parking lot behind the Rhode Island Country Club, where he first picked up a set of golf clubs more than 4 decades ago. Faxon is welcoming golfers and their families who have gathered this Monday morning from all over the country for the CVS Caremark Charity Classic.
Can I get out of the car?
Billy Andrade, Faxon's childhood friend and co-host for the event, is across the lot, kicking off his own annual homecoming. They met here at the clubhouse in 1975, when Andrade was 11. Faxon was 14 and already a golf phenom. The friendship would continue through college and into their professional careers.
Tournament co-hosts Brad Faxon and Billy Andrade.
And 15 years ago, they helped launch a tournament that has generated a total of more than $17 million for nearly 24 charities in Rhode Island.
The monies all stay in Rhode Island. They go to all different charities. It's not just for children, it's not just for women, it's just not for the hospitals or Boys and Girls Clubs. It's almost every charity you've heard of in Rhode Island.
And Faxon says, here's what you might not know about golf as a professional sport.
We do something that's neat. Every year the PGA Tour gives more money away to charity than NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL combined. So we kill them.
Golf is different than other sports that you're not owned by an owner. You're your own independent contractor, and you get to the PGA Tour level, and then you realize all this money that we're generating for charity every week, to every city that we play in.
The 3-day event is a combination of great golf, nearly 1,000 volunteers, and a lead sponsorship by CVS Caremark with support from the company's suppliers, plus the Rhode Island Country Club's willingness to provide the course. And it takes each element to make it work every year.
A lot of people talk about the fact that it's Rhode Island's premier sporting event. I think it's Rhode Island's premier philanthropic event.
CVS Caremark CEO Larry Merlo was one of the first to arrive at the club that Monday.
Brad and Billy do a wonderful job in terms of getting a world-class field of players year after year, whether it's the PGA Tour, the LPGA, the Champions Tour, and I think we've been very fortunate over the past 16 years to see some of the legends of golf, and at the same time the current stars and in the future stars. And the fact that they are very philanthropic focused themselves, and you talk to the golfers, and some of them have a favorite charity, and some of them have a foundation, and they believe in the foundation for what the Charity Classic stands for.
The tournament began in 1999 as a successor to another charity tournament Andrade and Faxon had been running for the better part of a decade. Faxon says the CVS Caremark Charity Classic is modeled after a tournament in Oregon that former CVS CEO Tom Ryan had played in.
Billy and I had played together, won that tournament a few times, and it was on television. They had Arnold Palmer, and then big skyboxes. And people showed up and they gave lots of money to charity. So that's how we kind of started. And CVS said, look, we can get big name tour players to come to Rhode Island and keep all the money within the state. We're going to do that. I remember playing the first year, and we had, Arnold Palmer, we've had Jack Nicklaus, and we pinch ourselves. Here's Rhode Island Country Club where we grew up playing as little kids. I'm like, this is really some of the best golfers that have ever played, and then we're giving all this money to charity. It's hard to believe.
This year, Faxon played with Eric Compton, who the weekend before had been the runner-up at the U.S. Open Championship at Pinehurst. Compton has gained national attention because of his 2 successful heart transplants.
Playing on behalf of Special Olympics Rhode Island in the closest to the pin contest, one of your tournament co-hosts, Billy Andrade.
At the Charity Classic, each golfer is paired with a specific charity for the closest to the pin competition within the tournament. In Andrade's case, his brother Jack has special needs, so Special Olympics and the Meeting Street School have been the motivation when he plays. Compton had the American Heart Association.
That's what makes me feel good as a player, to see all the young players now that all have foundations and then have all started charitable tournaments and are given back to where they grew up. They're like, wow, look what Billy and Brad have done up in Rhode Island. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna do that.
All these guys are so like-minded. They're all charitable giving guys, and they see what we're doing in Rhode Island. The numbers for the CVS now are going to be close to $20 million in giving, and these players see that, and it helps them when they go back to their hometown.
Faxon said there is also an intimacy to the tournament that you won't find many other places, where the golfers and spectators often interact, sometimes in unexpected ways.
Matt Kuchar hit a guy in the head on the 11th hole, and the ball bounced 40 yards sideways, and we got there, and he's all bloody. He was smiling like, this is great. You know, I mean, it's not always great.
Did you get him to autograph the ball?
Oh, he sure did. Yeah, I think he got a new shirt, too.
Faxon and Andrade both credit Merlot for keeping the tournament going when he succeeded Tom Ryan as CEO of CVS Caremark in 2011.
To have Larry Merlot come in 2 years ago, it would have been very easy for him as the new CEO of CVS to say, you know what, it's run its course, it's done well, and he's got energy, and he's going to help revitalize it. You know, it takes a special person to want to do that, because it's not easy, and it's easy for, you know, somebody in the media to say, you know what, you could be spending your money other ways, and I just think there's a huge economic impact here for everybody.
Brad and Billy talked about that point in time when you succeeded Tom Ryan, that there was going to be a decision to be made. Who knows? New guy comes in, new priorities, new focus, and I'm sure you've made changes within the company, but they were very appreciative of the fact, because it was not a given that this was going to continue. So what entered your thought process for that?
Well, Jim, I think it goes back to what we were talking about. The fact that, you know, at the heart of the Charity Classic is what it does for the community. And, you know, the fact that, you know, we have now raised more than $17 million over the past, 16 years, and we'll be looking forward to adding to that total based on, this year's success. I think it just speaks volumes to, the work that everybody does to make it a success.
Merlot, who is an avid golfer, says watching some of the best in the world up close is a revelation.
Being able to see them firsthand and watch those, swings, and you quickly realize why I don't have that as my job.
It's good they're not running CVS either, though, right?
Merlot says they'll announce just how much the 2014 tournament added to the charity total later this year.
We have a celebration actually here in our office in December, where the charities come and Brad and Billy join us, and we give out the checks. And it's an opportunity for the organizations to talk a little bit about, what they're doing and, their accomplishments. And at the same time, you have the people that run these organizations coming up to you and, thanking us, talking about the fact that, this check represents 30, 40, as much as 50% of their operating budget for the year.
You do not have to twist a lot of arms for this tournament. This is one of those opportunities people love to participate in.
Eileen Howard Boone is a senior vice president for CVS Caremark, who has been the tournament chairwoman the past decade.
It's really a combination of a lot of partners, and so we have to have a great volunteer staff, we have great co-hosts, and we have great commitment from the company. And so every year, while a lot stays the same, fundamentally our mission to give back to charities is the thing that stays the same throughout every year that we do it.
It's just not about two local pros that got lucky in their careers and became pretty good golfers with a local corporation like CVS that has been so great. You need that, but you also need the foundation of all these folks that come out, that support it.
You sometimes miss that when you go to the beautiful Rhode Island Country Club and you see the blue skies and the wonderful water and the magnificent golf course and these terrific players. But at the end, we're really raising money for nonprofits that are making real differences in the lives of those that need it most in our own local backyard.
It doesn't just happen like that. It's a year-round job to get this thing going. We're already thinking about what we got to do better next year.
So how many next years will there be? Merlot is optimistic about the future of the tournament.
I think it's a unique partnership between all of those folks, and as long as that partnership stays together, I think we can look forward to the Charity Classic being here for many years.
In Barrington, Jim Hummel for the Rhode Island Spotlight.
Thanks for coming out. See you next year.
Thank you.